Hello everyone, so today we're going to be talking about the Gunslinger. So now with the new changes on Tombstone, the moment you press tab, you can't immediately use Bulletstorm. It automatically reverts to unload, and the only way to use Bulletstorm is you have to tag the target with 4 before you can actually use Bulletstorm. It is a new change. So this changes our rotation by quite a bit. I personally do not use the Tombstone move 1 anymore. I use Tombstone move 2. If you read this one, it says, charges 8 explosive rounds for 8 seconds and defense piercing when using unload. And basically you do slightly more damage when you use your unload skill, which is your regular burst bullets whenever you charge up and press F. However, you know, if you still want to use Tombstone 1, you can. I don't recommend using it now because in the current patch, when you tag a target with your 4, it only lasts for 10 seconds. You can see here it says concentrated fire effect on target for 10 seconds on every successful hit. But when you hit the target with your 4, you immediately tab and then you can use your Tombstone. However, it only lasts for 10 seconds. You can see here that it has a concentrated fire, which makes you able to cast Tombstone on that specific target. However, the problem with that is on a lot of higher level dungeons, such as Drowning Deeps and Hollow's Heart, the bosses have cleansing mechanics, cleansing abilities. Whenever they cast a certain skill or wherever they jump to another spot, they cleanse all debuffs, which includes your concentrated fire, which is your 4. So, like, let's say you've marked the target and then on Jerupo, and then the moment Jerupo jumps into the air and mech phase starts at 70% and at 30%, you can't Tombstone anymore because they cleanse the concentrated fire thing. And also, it only lasts for 10 seconds, which, especially on high ping, such as myself, you can't really pull that many Tombstones. Like, on most ideal conditions, I pull off 4, but in, like, a more messy scenario, for example, if I'm tanking, I can only pull off about 3. So that's why I just don't bother with using Bulletstorm anymore. So I just use Tombstone, the second ability. So I just immediately press tab and then I can just start using my burst bullets immediately. And it's just more convenient, you know, having burst bullets on demand whenever I need them. So let's say I'm out of, let's say I'm doing my regular rotation and I'm out of burst bullets, I can just immediately press tab and then I'll have some burst bullets to just shoot more. As for equipment wise, because of your most of your damage now comes from unload, you do more consistent damage instead of upfront damage. So you can consider switching your Mystic Badge. So in my case, I switched to the Enigma. So the Enigma Mystic Badge will give you 250% flame damage on successful unload during Ancient Music effect. So you'll have Ancient Music effect for 6 seconds whenever you use your Firefall, which is your C skill. So basically, that's why I use Enigma, because of my my Soul Badge. The Soul Badge I'm using is currently Holy Fire, which allows me to get more triple shots, and Transcendence. Transcendence is every time I use an unload, which is my F skill, it'll lower the cooldown of my C skill, of my Firefall. So the more unloads I do, the shorter the cooldown for Firefall. The more Firefalls I cast, the more damage my unloads do. So it synchronizes really well together. Regarding the bracelet, there are people saying that, you know, the dragon bracelet might be better or the tiger bracelet might be better. I personally am just going to stick with the tiger bracelet. You could test around, you can test dragon or tiger, but personally I stick with tiger because I'm just used to the playstyle of tiger. Another thing that we should pay attention to is getting your favor tokens. So your favor tokens, you can get quite a lot every day. I misunderstood the patch notes, well, or maybe the patch notes weren't written extremely clearly, but getting your Fallen Soul Shield is really, there's a huge incentive to do it for your gunner class, because the main reason is if you buy one chest here for 155 tokens, and let's say you don't get piece 1 or 2, you get any other piece except for 1 and 2, then you can just buy piece 1 and 2 in the shop over here. Buy piece 1 and 2 here because you don't need any achievements for it, and then immediately get 3-piece Vortex Temple, which is extremely strong. The main reason is because with the new patch that kicked in this update, they nerfed your 8-piece Black Tower. You can see that Tombstone cooldown decreased by 30%. Quick Shot, Dark Shot, Bullet Storm increased damage by 15%. It used to be a lot higher. It used to be 30%. However, if you go to your Vortex Temple 3-piece, now it says Tombstone cooldown decreased by 30%, so that's the same as 8-piece Black Tower. However, Scorched Earth, Kill Shot, Bull Rush decreased cooldown by 20%, which is really good for your Tiger Bracelet. Your damage for Scorched Earth is also increased by 20%. And finally, your Quick Shot damage, your Dark Shot damage, and your Bullet Storm is also increased by 20%. So that is a 5% higher than the 8-piece Black Tower. So if you can, try to get your 3-piece Vortex Temple. It will help quite a lot in damage-wise. So that's really the main changes for Gunner. It's just, I've been getting a lot of questions in my stream about how do I use Tombstone now and why I use Tombstone Move 2. If you're like more geared than me, like for example you already have Vortex Temple gear and stuff, it's really up to personal preference. You can stick with your old Bullet Storm build with the long cooldown soul, or you can switch over to the build that I'm using, which is more consistent damage, short cooldown soul, so that would be the Awakened Ascending Soul, or the True Ascending Soul, and with Aeon Soul Badge, and Enigma. Or if you can get the Vortex Temple one, that would be really strong as well. But because I play in really high ping, like my ping's roughly like 280 to 300-ish, so consistent damage for me is the better path to go instead of upfront burst. And with this new patch update and with my new gear upgrades, and thanks to Trove, I got my Raven 9 weapon, I've managed to pull about 150k DPS now consistently. So, you know, it was pretty good. It's pretty nice. But yeah, anyhow, I hope this video was helpful, and if you have any more Gunner questions, leave them in the description down below, and I'll try my best to answer them. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
What can I say except you're welcome, for the heals, the boosts, the rest.